Today we're diving into a topic that everyone in their 20s or younger needs to pay attention to: financial mistakes to avoid. Your 20s are a time for fun, new experiences and growth, but making the wrong financial decisions in your 20s can hold you back for decades. But don't worry though, in today's video we're going to be going through some of the top financial mistakes that people make in their 20s and how we can avoid them. Alright, so welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Willis. I'm a chartered accountant who's been working in the industry for 7 years now and has been studying all things money, personal finance and accounting for the past decade. Okay, so first up, mistake number 1 is not having a budget. And this sounds extremely boring, I know, but not having a budget is one of the most common financial mistakes that young people make, but it's also one of the easiest to fix. Without a budget, it's extremely easy to overspend and not really know where your money is going each and every month. Ultimately, you should have some kind of financial goal, and if you don't have a budget or some kind of tracker to track your spending, then how are you going to know whether you're progressing towards that goal or going backwards? And a budget doesn't necessarily need to be some kind of crazy sophisticated paid app or anything like that. Just a simple spreadsheet on Excel can do the trick just as well. This is why I created my own monthly expenses tracker and budget template. You can download this completely for free using the link in the description below. Hopefully this will allow you to have some structure to start tracking your expenses on a monthly basis and to create your own budget. If you have any feedback on this tracker and how it can be improved, please let me know in the comment section below. And remember, having a budget is not about restricting your spending or your freedom. It's all about just tracking where your money is going and ultimately giving you more control over your money. Mistake number 2 is underspending on education. Arguably the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett, once famously said, "The greatest investment that you can make is an investment in yourself." And I really love this because when we're in our 20s, we're probably not an expert in very much at all, and we're probably not earning that much money. Therefore, we need to be pumping the money that we are earning into education to further develop our skills, therefore making us more valuable to the marketplace and allow us to earn more money down the line. For example, let's say you want to become a chartered accountant. Well, becoming a chartered accountant takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and of course, a fair amount of money. Now, let's say you're not willing to invest the time, effort and money into becoming a qualified chartered accountant and instead take the first available bookkeeping job that presents itself to you. Then ultimately, unless you're continually investing in your development within that role, then that's probably where you're going to stay. Or let's say you want to learn how to edit videos. Well, if you want to be a competent video editor and really make professional looking videos, then you're going to have to invest in some kind of training course or pay someone to show you how to do it. So investing in education while you're young is absolutely key to ensure that you maximize your value to the marketplace. Mistake number 3 is ignoring the importance of an emergency fund. Life happens. Cars break down, boilers stop working, health scares occur, and if you don't have an emergency fund sufficient enough to cover these expenses when they occur, this could be an extremely stressful situation for you. Ideally, you want to be aiming for between 3 and 6 months of living expenses to be held within your emergency fund. This should be a sufficient enough amount to give you peace of mind that if something goes wrong in your life, you have enough cash to keep living for at least 3 to 6 months to get yourself back on your feet. If you don't have a sufficient emergency fund saved up, then in order to pay for these expenses that are unexpected, you may have to take out a loan or use your credit card, which come with astronomical rates of interest. Which leads nicely onto mistake number 4, which is taking on too much debt. As Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author of the #1 personal finance book of all time, Rich Dad Poor Dad, says, "Debt is like a loaded gun. It can help you or it can kill you." Ultimately, debt can be a massive burden if not managed properly. And when we're in our 20s, it's especially easy to get caught up in the debt trap. With student loans, credit cards available to you, and the prospect of buying your first home using a mortgage, the possibilities to get yourself in a large amount of debt are virtually endless. Now, high interest credit cards and car loans can be particularly dangerous. With credit cards, it's all too easy to just go around tapping your card, buying whatever you want without even really thinking about how you're going to pay it off later. And this is ultimately an issue with instant gratification, but that's another story. Many credit cards can have an interest rate of 10, 12, or even more %, which is extremely high when you consider the amount of interest that you'd get on your cash in the bank today is probably somewhere between 3 to 5%. And if you do have a credit card, this needs to be got rid of ASAP. Avoid making just the monthly minimum repayments because you'll end up paying more in interest to pay the thing off than you actually spent to buy the goods you used the credit card to buy in the first place. So you need to be getting rid of that entire balance ASAP because that interest can eat you alive financially. And then there is, in my opinion, the #1 wealth killer for young people, the car loan. When you hire, purchase, lease or finance a brand new car, you're taking on a massive amount of debt to purchase a depreciating asset. Now, I'm not sure about you, but to me, that sounds more like a massive liability. Your brand new car, which you agreed to pay, say, $600 per month over a 5-year period for will lose approximately 10 to 15% of its value as soon as you put the keys in the ignition and drive it out of the showroom. And what's more, with every extra mile or kilometre that you add onto the mileage of that car, the value continues to decrease. By agreeing to pay this set amount per month over a 3 to 5 year period, you've essentially put yourself in what they call golden handcuffs. What this means is that you are tied to this debt for that 5-year period, and there's no way you can really get away from it. So let's say you're spending $600 per month on a car that you've just financed. This means this $600 per month cannot go towards your emergency fund in case life strikes. This $600 cannot go towards buying something new that you desire now. This $600 cannot go towards saving up for your dream holiday, or even just putting a bit of cash on the side so that you can take an extended break from work or go travelling. And all this because you chose to buy a liability that you probably didn't even need. And so ultimately here, be extremely careful before committing to financing a new car or taking on too much debt for any purpose. Mistake number 5 is not starting to invest early enough. One of the biggest financial regrets of a lot of people as they get older is that they didn't begin to invest in their future early enough. Time is your best friend when it comes to investing, and this is because of the effects of compound interest. Now, what is compound interest, you may ask? Well, compound interest is essentially where your money that you've invested is continuously making more money through the cumulative returns over time. And over a long period of time, this can add up to a huge return even if you're only investing a very modest amount. In the UK, one of the easiest ways to begin investing is to begin contributing as much as you can to your employer-sponsored pension scheme. Most employers will match a certain contribution that you make and any additional contributions above the statutory requirement to a certain percentage. So this is a no-brainer because your employer is essentially giving you extra free money. Alternatively, you can use a stocks and shares ISA. And these are great because these allow your returns on your investments to grow completely tax-free. In the USA, there are similar alternatives available through the use of a Roth IRA, which you can use to begin investing for your future now. The key here is to start early and be consistent. Contributing a small amount every month over many years will add up to a huge sum at the end of the period. Mistake number 6 is living above your means. Now, when you're young, it's especially tempting to try and live a lifestyle that you see portrayed on social media. However, what we have to realize here is that those who we're following on social media that are showing us this lavish lifestyle with their luxurious holidays, their expensive cars, and their fine dining experiences, these people are showing you the absolute highlights of their life. And we can't see the financial situation behind the scenes, which, if they're using debt to fund this lifestyle, could be dire. And this doesn't just go for influencers, of course. Maybe you want to just keep up with your friends who seem to be going on more holidays than you, or have a nicer car, or wear nicer clothes. But it's really important to try and step away from this and focus on what's important to us. Focus on building good financial habits, such as sticking to your budget, investing regularly for your future, saving up for your bigger purchases, or starting that side hustle that may allow you to generate another source of income in the future. All of these good financial habits will pay off in the long run. Remember, the happiness that comes from purchasing material goods is fleeting. It comes and goes just as quickly until you buy the next thing. You don't need all these fancy material items to live a happy and fulfilled life. Mistake number 7 is not negotiating your salary. When starting your career, which most people are in their late teens and early 20s, it's tempting to just accept the first job offer and salary offer that you receive. But not negotiating your salary at all is a mistake. And many employers may actually expect you to try and negotiate your salary somewhat. And if you don't try and negotiate your salary, you could end up getting paid substantially less than what you should be getting paid for all that hard work you're putting in. The key here is to do the research into the role that you're interested in to find out what the standard going rate is. Then you can practice your negotiation skills, which is also a key life skill. And so even if you don't get the job with the salary that you want, you've still developed your negotiation skills anyway. One thing to remember here is that a higher starting salary not only increases your income now, but it also increases your future income because any raises and promotions that you get, your revised salary is starting from a higher base. Therefore, getting the starting salary right is crucial. And the 8th and final financial mistake that many people make in their 20s is not getting financial advice. There is a massive amount of financial information out there available for anyone to read. And it can be extremely overwhelming, especially if you don't really know where to start. But don't hesitate to ask for help, whether it's from a financial advisor, a trusted mentor, or reliable financial blogs or YouTube channels. The key here is just to make sure you're asking people that you do trust, because the earlier you can learn about smart money management, smart investing, and smart purchasing decisions, the better off you'll be in the long run. And again, the key here is just to consult with people that you do really trust. If you're seeking financial advice from someone who says you have to invest in their product for a guaranteed return that looks too good to be true, then chances are it probably is too good to be true. As a general rule, if anyone is guaranteeing you results, whether it be an educational product or an investment, then run. If you enjoyed this video, I know you'll love this one, but don't go just yet. Don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you over there.